Hey guys, for week one of our tutorial, we are going to teach these kids how to properly dribble. Okay, so when we're teaching them to start out, we're going to dribble on the spot and we're going to focus on what parts of our hand are on the ball. Okay, so we want to teach the kids that we're not slapping the ball. Okay, we're not hard in the hand, we don't keep a stiff hand. Okay, we keep soft hands and we're using our fingertips mainly to dribble the ball. Okay, what I like to teach the kids is when we want to know how something feels, if I want to know how this shirt feels, I'm using my fingertips to feel it. Okay? It gives us the best sense on the ball and it gives us the best control on the ball. All right? So we want to make sure that the kids are not stiff in the hand when we're dribbling, we're not slapping down on it. Okay? But what we're doing is we're keeping our hands soft on the ball. Okay? And we're just pushing the ball to the floor each time. Okay? So make sure that the kids get into a good stance. Okay, I'm going to back up so you guys can see me here. We're in a good stance here, feet just a little bit wider than shoulder width apart, okay? Bending at the knees a little bit. And when we bend at the knees, we want to make sure that we're not in like goalies, okay? And we're not doing like a sumo squat. We need to be comfortable in order to get out of this position, okay? So we're in a good bend here, good comfortable position, because when we get out of it and we're dribbling, we need to be able to burst whichever way we want to go, okay? So make sure that they're nice and comfortable, all right? Bend at the knees. And what I like to do is get my chin out front of everything else, okay? So if I'm leaned back too far and my chin is over top of my chest, I know that I'm too far back to try and control that ball properly, okay? So bend at the knees and chin out over everything else. And what we're gonna do is we're just gonna push this ball, make sure that we're pushing to the floor, because a lot of the time the kids, at the younger age especially, they drop the ball and then they just touch it to the floor. So they just drop and then continue to let it go down to the floor. All right? We want to make sure that we have that ball, we've got it structured, and we are pushing to the floor, making it come back up to our hand. Okay? So we're pushing down. One thing to focus on is that they are dribbling outside of one of their feet. Okay? So we don't really want to dribble in the middle. It's not comfortable. Okay? And then as we get more advanced with dribbling, it's also not very protected, okay? So when we're here, we can't really protect that ball. So when we're here, we can protect it from defenders, all right? So we wanna make sure that we're dribbling outside of that ball, all right? And then as we get a little bit used to this, we get more advanced with it, we can start dribbling back and forth, right to left, okay? And then as we get used to this, we're gonna try the opposite hand dribbling. Okay? Remember, even with the opposite hand dribbling, we have to make sure that we're using our fingertips. Okay? They're not used to using their opposite hand, especially JK and SK kids. They don't even know that they have an opposite hand at this point. Okay? So make sure that they aren't slapping that ball to the floor. All right? The next thing that you can do is get them running or just start out walking, okay, to half court and back. Okay? And when they're walking with it, it's always a push forward, okay? So walking, we're just pushing it forward as we go. Simple stuff, all right? After you do that, you can get them to speed up a little bit, jogging to half court and back, okay? It's mainly about control at this point. It is not about speed, okay? Next thing that we can get them to do is layups. I'm getting a message up on my screen, go away. Okay, get them to do layups. At the JKSK grade 1, grade 2 level, we want to teach them the 2-foot power layup. Okay, they don't have enough control to do a 1-foot layup and control the ball off of the backboard properly. Some of the more advanced kids, sure, but at this level, just teach them the 2-foot power layup. Okay, so we're just going to go nice and slow to the rim, stop on 2 feet, and push it up with one hand. Okay, so nice and dribble, stop and play, and up with one hand and push. Okay. So at the JKSK level, we'll get them going one lineup, okay? And the coach can rebound for them and pass it out to the next player, okay? And it's always easier if you get one ball, maybe 2 balls going in that lineup. All right, don't let each kid have their own ball because then they lose focus. You gotta keep them focused by passing them that ball for the next one. Okay, so you guys have a 15-minute warm-up. The dribbling could take probably about 8 to 10 minutes. And then the layups could take another 5 minutes. All right, next week we'll focus a little bit on dribbling, more on the layups. We'll be doing layups every week. We'll be touching on passing, okay? And then we'll continue on as we go. Okay, every single week I'd like you guys to teach them a rule too. So this week's rule, to start out, is the use of our hands on defense. We want to make sure that our hands are not grabbing anybody, all right? Not pushing anybody, pulling, anything like that. We're not wrapping them up or hugging them, okay? The hands are meant for defense on the ball alone. They're not, when we're playing defense and a kid tries to get around the defensive player, okay? As soon as they go into that arm, that's a foul. So we got to teach them to keep their hands to themselves, make sure that we're not running into other players by controlling our bodies, okay? And just tell them that I'm trying to get the refs to call everything this season, okay? So no running into each other, no grabbing, no pushing, no pulling, no kicking, no biting, all that kind of good stuff. Okay, enjoy. Thank you.